I see Cynthia. I see Anna. Cynthia from Ontario. Cynthia, I'm from Ontario too. I don't know if you knew that. A YA modern retelling of Rumpelstiltskin is what she's working on. Anna, I'm from Spokane, Washington. Wonderful. And I'm working on a Christian fantasy. Wonderful. Cynthia, I'm seeing a smiley face. I'm guessing that means you can hear me. Am I coming through loud and clear on your end? All good. Excellent. Let's see who else we've got here. Kathy, welcome, Kathy. Welcome, Cynthia. Welcome, Marilyn. Hey, Patty's here. Hey, Patty. And Tom. Hope everyone is doing well this afternoon. We'll just give it a minute here for a few more folks to arrive. I see more folks coming in. Go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat, folks. Let us know where you are from and what you're going to be working on in Story Plan Intensive. Welcome, Karen. Welcome, Mike. Let us know where you are in the world. Hi, Hugo. Welcome to the webinar. We're about to get started. Just giving folks a minute or two to arrive here. Marilyn says steampunk set in Roman times, and she's in England. Wonderful. Excellent. I'm a big fan of The Legend of Korra, the sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender television series, and it's steampunk, and so that's the steampunk I'm most familiar with. Probably is Korra. Yeah, folks still coming in. If you're new to Webinar Ninja, folks, there is a chat. If you are on a laptop, it'll be over on the right hand side. If you are dialing in from your phone, you might have to turn it sideways or move around a bit to find the chat, but it's in there waiting for you. So you can go ahead and introduce yourself. And Webinar Ninja does highly recommend joining through Chrome. So if you have joined the webinar today, but not through Chrome, and you have any difficulties at all, just try logging out and logging back in using Chrome, and you should have any difficulties that you're having solved. Did I welcome Anna already? I think I did. Hey, Elena. Elena's here. Elena is a client of mine, so I know her well. And we're a couple minutes past the hour now, so why don't we go ahead and get started? Oh, Ontario, Christine here from Ontario, middle grade humorous fantasy. Nice, we got a couple different fantasy authors on the call. And Helena Montana, creative nonfiction. All right, well, let's dive into things here. Welcome to the training. You've made a great decision to be here live on the webinar today. If we haven't met before, welcome. My name is Kevin T. Johns. I'm a writing coach. I help authors from all around the world get ideas out of their heads onto the page and into readers' hands. As well as being a writing coach, I'm also an author myself. I have a mindset book around writing called Smash Fear and Write Like a Pro. I have a writing instructional book called The Novel Writer's Blueprint. I have a young adult teen horror novel called The Page Turners and its sequel, The Page Turners Economy of Fear. I give away a free book called Novel Advice, Motivation, Inspiration, and Creative Writing Tips for Aspiring Authors. And so if you don't have a copy of that book already, shoot me an email after the webinar and I'll be sure to get you that free book. I also have a thriller called M School. I have a children's picture book, Rocket Princess versus Snaggletooth the Dragon, and Rocket Princess and the Princess Rocket Squad. And I am also a ghostwriter. As a ghostwriter, I've worked primarily in the leadership and the business space. So basically, if there's a genre of writing, nonfiction, fiction, sci-fi, YA, horror, children's picture books, leadership, nonfiction, I have done it all. I host a podcast called the Writing Coach Podcast. We're at over 200 episodes of the podcast now. I often moderate panels at local book conventions here in Ottawa, Canada. And of course, I am a writing coach. That's the capacity I am in here today. So, as a writing coach, I do a lot of reading and critiquing and editing of my clients' work. And so when I was prepping for the March edition of Story Plan Intensive, I was prepping for this webinar. And so it was late February, and Grammarly happened to send me an email while I was prepping for that webinar. And it listed my productivity for the month of February. So this was it here between February 4th and February 25th. I had reviewed 1,000,000 words of my client's work. So that's the average month for me there. I do a lot of reading and a lot of working with writers to help them make their writing as good as it can possibly be. But that's enough about me, all right? This is about you. So I'm going to open up a poll over in the chat. I want you to take a look at this poll and let me know which description best describes you. You have a burning desire to bring your book idea to life, but find yourself struggling to create a structured and compelling outline. You've pantsed or discovery wrote your way into a manuscript only to find yourself unable to complete it. You're already a published author and you're looking for a quicker and more replicable way to plan your stories. You want to get the most out of Story Plan Intensive. All right, go ahead to the poll and let me know. I see an other. So whoever was the other, let us know what the situation is if none of these apply to you. All right, I see some burning desire. I see some published before and looking for more replicable way. Great. Okay, it looks like several folks have published before. That's always good. Oh, burning desire pulling ahead. And I'm going to pop back over to the chat. Let me see if anyone in the chat, published author, looking for great help. Definitely, Karen, you're in the right place. Pants my way into a manuscript, says Anna. Fantastic. Well, if you see yourself in any of these descriptions, you're in the right place. Because on today's agenda, we're going to go over the 5 things you can do to rock Story Plan Intensive this June and the one thing you can do to guarantee success. So give me a yes in the comments. Is everyone here already registered to participate in Story Plan Intensive? Let me know in the chat. Give me a yes. All right, Anna's yes, Hugo's yes, Patty's yes, Marilyn's yes, Elena's yes. Excellent. Okay, fantastic. So that's the last thing, just to double check that you're in the right place. This is a training about what you can do this week to set yourself up for success in the month to come. But before we start, I have another poll for you that I'm going to turn on here. I want to know who here considers themselves a pantser. That's someone who writes by the seat of their pants, and who considers themselves a planner, someone who plans ahead. Okay, the poll's looking about 75. Oh, no, 60-40 for planner. So pretty even spread there, it looks like. Let's see if anyone's saying anything in the chat. Okay, Tammy, Pantser, Karen, Pantser, Anna, Pantser, Cynthia, both. It's funny, all the people who commented were pantsers. Interesting. All the people in the poll were, well, it was a pretty even balance across the poll. Okay, so perfect. So that's, kind of what I expected. We tend to get a balanced mix between the two. And so to kick off the presentation here, I just want to talk a little bit about this pantser planner dichotomy that I really think is often overblown in the writer world and not nearly as different as people seem to think. In fact, I would suggest that pantsers and planners do the exact same thing, just in reverse order. So, whether you're planning ahead or making it up as you go along, eventually you need to get a book to the point where you're executing on the fundamentals of story craft. Like, these elements aren't debatable or negotiable. These are the foundations of narrative storytelling. So you need to have understanding and execution on genre, on conventions and iconography, on causality, on story structure, on character arcs and thematic unity, and having a clear controlling idea. These things aren't optional. We need to get there because they are the fundamental building blocks of good storytelling. And so both approaches can work so long as you end up at the right place, a story that has all of these things. Now, obviously, I am teaching a program called Story Plan Intensive. I am biased on the planning side of things. Personally, I strongly believe planning ahead gives writers the confidence that on the fundamental story level, what you are about to write already works before you even put a word on the page. And as a result, it leads to a faster and, in my opinion, more fun first draft of your book. That said, there's absolutely such a thing as too much planning. So, Story Plan Intensive aims to get you to do a lot of decision making in a short period of time so that you can get to the real work, which is writing your book. A friend of mine told me that there are subreddits on the website Reddit where people just world build. They never actually write the book. They just plan until the end of time. And for the folks on this webinar, I don't want you planning until the end of time. I want you working on your book. That's the important stuff. And so that's why we keep story plan to 1 month. Now, in one of my groups, I often share summaries of tips that I give. And at one point, I posted this summary that said, provided the tip, focus on story planning and having a solid outline before writing your first draft. I often emphasize the importance of planning ahead to give yourself confidence that your story will work on a fundamental level. And author Anne Kane, she has tons of romance books out there. She chimed in and she said, in response to that point, she said, that's exactly why I joined Storyplan. And then First Draft, that's my program after Storyplan. Previously, I just winged it and found that worked great for short novellas, but not for anything longer. And even with short ones, I'd have an idea, and months after subbing it, realize I hadn't worked them into the plot. The outline made all the difference in my current book. All right. So let's talk about the 5 things you can do right now to rock Story Plan Intensive. But first up, a man bathing in Fruit Loops. Let me know in the chat if you have any idea of why this is in here, what it has to do with story planning. Doesn't look like anyone's coming up with anything. And that's the right answer. It has nothing to do with story planning. I just came across this picture and I thought it was so funny. I had to work it into the presentation somehow. Danita asked the question, is this being recorded? It should be recorded. Webinar Ninja hopefully automatically records and then sends it out to you afterwards. But technology, you can never count on it 100%. Now let's get down to the real work here. Thing number 1, and if you printed out the worksheet for this presentation, now's the time to start taking those notes, because thing number 1 that you can do to set yourself up for success this month is manage your time. Over the course of Story Plan, I'm going to be sending you daily training videos. They're going to go out at 7 a.m. every morning, Monday to Friday. All right, I'm giving you the heads up now. So this is the time to say to yourself, when are you going to watch these videos? They're somewhere between 5 to 15 or 20 minutes on average. So you want to say, when are you going to do them? Are you going to save them all up until the end of the week and watch them all at once? Are you going to watch them over your lunch hour at work? Are you going to watch them first thing in the morning? They're coming, all right? They're coming at you fast and furious. And so now is the time to start thinking about, when in your life are you going to take the time to watch the training? Every Friday, you're going to get a creativity inspiring homework assignment. Those go out Friday mornings and they're due Monday night. So, again, look at June and ask yourself, when on the weekends for 4 weeks over the course of the month, and are you going to dedicate time to doing these assignments? These are the core aspects of the program. And so you really want to carve out the time to be doing them. Put this stuff in your calendar. Every single one of you most likely has a calendar hanging on a wall in your kitchen or on your refrigerator. These calendars are hugely useful tools. And of course, we all have them on our computers and our phones as well. Schedule Story Plan Intensive into your life. Put that homework time into your calendar. Put the video time into your calendar so that you can start building Story Plan into your life. Because the enemy here is becoming overwhelmed. We live in probably the busiest age humanity has ever lived in. We are constantly bombarded with phone calls and texts and tweets and emails and this and that. It's very easy to become overwhelmed if you try to pile Story Plan on top of everything else you're already dealing with. You probably have a job, you probably have a family, you probably have hobbies and interests. And when you just add one more thing on top of that, you can risk burnout. Okay, so if you're going to take Story Plan seriously, if you want to really make a leap forward in your writing this June, consider cutting something out of your life. If you're going to add Story Plan, what can you take away for 4 weeks? And the easiest things are normally those time vacuum things like television, YouTube videos, video games, social media. I mean, if you want to find 20 minutes in your day to watch a training video and improve your writing skill set, there's probably 20 minutes of social media time that you can cut out of your life. Uh, okay, so we're going to build on this time management idea, and we're going to build on this importance of your calendar and of scheduling, because this program is not just about writer's craft. It's about the skills necessary to plan a novel and to get a novel written efficiently. And your calendar is so important here. And so is the program schedule. I don't want you to sign up for Story Plan and then say, oh, I'm going to take the program, but June's kind of a busy month for me, so I'm going to take it at my own pace. I'm going to do it in 2 months instead of 1 month. No. Okay, there's a reason the program is 1 month long, and there's also a reason it's called Story Plan Intensive. It's a lot of work in a short period of time. And when you start to draw it out, it becomes really easy to go down that rabbit hole of endless planning. And like I said to you, I think planning ahead is hugely beneficial, but at some point, it becomes the work about the work rather than the work itself. I don't know if any of you are entrepreneurs or if you know any entrepreneur friends, but so many times someone will start a new business and they'll say, hey, like, here's my business card, it's got my new logo on it. And you'll be like, oh, great, like, what service do you offer, or what product are you selling? And they'll say, well, I'm still working on that. I'm still figuring that out, but check out this business card, check out this logo. And that's work about the work. That's not actually building a business, just like endless planning isn't actually writing a novel. Okay, so this is not about extended planning. This is about spending a little bit of time setting the foundations necessary to set yourself up for drafting success. All right. So that 2 months is important. Don't save this until a later date. You might be thinking, oh, I'll wait until life perfectly aligns. June isn't quite perfect. Life never aligns perfectly in order for you to achieve your goals. If you want to achieve something, you need to find the time to make that happen amongst the bad months, amongst the busy days, amongst the busy weeks. Do the work now because you'll have access to me. You'll also have access to a community of writers with similar goals, experiencing the same challenges that you are. And so if you end up drawing this out for 6 weeks, you're going on the week 3 challenges on your own. But if you go through with the current cohort of writers and you're struggling in week 3, there's going to be tons of other people that you can reach out to, that you can talk to, that you communicate with, who are probably having similar problems. All right, so let me know if you're still with me here. I want to do a life check in the chat. Give me a yes in the chat if you're still with me. All right, excellent. Seeing a lot of yeses coming in. Okay, let's keep pressing forward here. Next up, find accountability. Many writers are introverts. You want to go it alone, and I get that. I totally understand it. But the reality is, no one succeeds at anything in life alone. I am a huge fan of James Cameron's Avatar films. I think The Way of the Water, the second film, is one of the greatest family films ever made. And when you sit down and watch The Way of the Water and the movie ends and the credits begin, there's something like 15 minutes of credits. I'm not even joking. Name after name after name after name. Thousands of people were involved in making that film of reality. And the Hollywood industry just has the standard of acknowledging everyone who works on a book, or sorry, who works on a film. And yet, when we look at a book, it just says Kevin Johns across the front. And it makes it look like I did this all by myself. And I didn't. I had beta readers, I had critique partners, I had editors, I had copy editors, I had proofreaders, I had someone design the cover, I had someone design the interior. There are so many people involved in creating a book. And so, this idea that you need to go it alone, that you need to be the lone wolf sitting in a cabin by yourself writing, that's a myth and it's not real. The reality is, like anything in life, writing is collaborative and we all need some support along the way. So, when it comes to your creativity inspiring homework assignments over the course of the month, I want you to commit to providing your homework assignments to someone on Monday nights. You heard me say earlier, the deadline is Monday. Well, I'm not going to be knocking on your door, like saying deadline is here. You need to create that accountability for yourself, because we're way more willing to do the work if we know someone else is waiting on us to receive it. So who could this person be? It could be anyone in your life. It could be a friend. It could be a partner. It could be a spouse. They don't have to be a writer. It just has to be someone who you say, I'm going to deliver this work to you every Monday by this time. And if you don't, they're willing to follow up with you. There was also the Story Plan Facebook group. Now, I know a lot of folks have not joined the group, and I think increasingly over the years, I've run this program 9 times now, and increasingly less and less people join the Facebook group. And I get it. I understand why Facebook has become or social media in general has become a cesspool of sorts. And so I want people to know you're not missing anything necessarily by not being in the Facebook group, so long as you find accountability somewhere else. The huge benefit of the Facebook group is that you can get in there and you can post your homework each week along with all the other people who are posting, and you can provide each other with feedback and with support and with accountability. So it's great to do that in the Facebook group because I'm in there as well. I can see what you're doing with your homework. That said, does not have to be the Facebook group. You can find a partner elsewhere. Another option is to send me your homework. I'm not going to review it, but I can be there for you as your accountability partner. You can know that I'm waiting on it each week, and you can send it to me and I will receive it and I'll hold you accountable. Now, building on this idea of the homework, do the homework. That is thing number 4. Far too often with online training, we end up treating it like entertainment. We'll watch the training videos and we'll go, oh, that was cool. That was a fun technique. I'm glad I know that. But then we don't do the homework. But in this program, the homework is what is important. I don't really care about you watching training videos. I care about you making progress on your writing. I care about you creating a story plan, an outline for your book that's going to set you up for success. So if you're not willing to do the work, then don't bother with the program. This isn't an entertainment event. I'm here to try to be as entertaining as possible, but this is about you and your writing and your publishing career and about making major progress in how you're able to get your books done. And so right now, you've committed to be part of the program. You've double committed by being one of the people who's here live or watching this as a replay. At this moment right now, commit to getting the homework done. And getting it done doesn't mean perfect. This is a brainstorming exercise. So be willing to not be perfect with the homework. Be willing to play and experiment over the course of the month. Because knowledge learned is utterly useless if you don't execute on it. There's no point in watching these videos if you're not then going to put those techniques into action. And that's the whole idea of the homework assignments. It's to get you actually doing activities around your story planning, not just thinking about things or learning new skills. Now, this homework is not me testing if you paid attention to the training videos. All right. You're all grown ups here. I'm not going to be rapping on anyone on the knuckles for getting a question wrong. Rather, the homework is designed to get you thinking creatively and making decisions about your story. That's the thing writers so often put off, that hard process of actually putting things down, making decisions about how the story is going to unfold. But that's what we're going to do in the program. We're going to generate ideas. We're going to generate concepts. We're going to generate material that you can then use to write your book. If you aren't doing the homework, you're not doing the program. All right. Give me a yes in the comments here if you're prepared to do the work, not just watch the training. Absolutely. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Awesome. You guys are the action takers. You know that, right? It's like the folks who show up, who engage, who comment, who type. You guys are the rock stars. And I know you are going to have an amazing time this month. Okay. Thing number 5, check out tvtropes.org. tvtropes.org is a wiki with all sorts of information pertaining to genre and conventions, not just in literature, but in movies and television as well. And it's really a treasure trove of information. A lot of the time in StoryPlan, when people ask me questions during week 1, all I do is end up directing them to a page on TV tropes. And so I'd really encourage you to get over there now, poke around a bit, familiarize yourself with it, and see if you can find the genre that you're going to be writing in and see if you can find some wiki pages related to the type of work that you're going to be doing, because it's going to be really helpful with that week 1 homework. Okay, now we're going to get a little bit controversial here. All right. Check out tvtropes.org definitely. And if you're comfortable with it, check out ChatGPT. Okay, artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT are an incredible resource for research and idea creation. Like you, I don't want ChatGPT writing books for me. I don't think there's a writer in the world who wants to be replaced by AI. And so I fully understand why people aren't supportive of it and why people are even afraid of it. That said, I've approached it in the same way I approach so many tools that I work with, whether it's Speechify or Otter or Zoom or Scrivener or Grammarly, all of these different softwares that help me do my job and help me help authors. I've just put ChatGPT into the mix as one of them. And I think, particularly during week one, most of the homework answers that you're going to be looking for are going to be able to be found in ChatGPT. However, AI can't make decisions for you. And that's the important part of story planning. So we're definitely not removing you or the hard work you need to do from the process here, but we are willing to use AI to improve the research process or make the research process a little bit easier. So to give you an example of what I'm talking about here, someone in the group, remind me of a genre that you're writing in. All right. I'm just going to open up ChatGPT on my end here. So in the chat, just let me know your genre. Steampunk, perfect. Okay, so Marilyn, right now I'm opening up ChatGPT and I'm saying, what are the conventions of the steampunk genre? Okay, now this is what ChatGPT is giving me. Under aesthetic and setting, Victoria era influence, Industrial Revolution, alternate history. And then it's giving me a big paragraph for each of those things. Under technology and science, steam power, retrofuturism, mad science. Under fashion and design, Victorian fashion, gadgets and gear. Under themes and motifs, adventure and exploration, social commentary, innovation and creativity. Under common characters and archetypes, inventors and engineers, adventurers and explorers, airship pirates and sky captains, rebels and revolutionaries. Under examples of steampunk work, we're getting some William Gibson, some Bruce Sterling, and a bunch of other things here. So, one of the things that I'm going to ask you to do in week one is prove to me that you really know your genre, that you know those conventions, that you know that sort of iconography. And so, hopefully, Marilyn, that was helpful to you. And that's just an example of, if you want, how you can use ChatGPT to speed up the research process. That said, if you don't want to use AI, tvtropes.org is over there for you. Head over there, type steampunk into the search, and you can see what comes up. The other approach that you can use to learn your genre really, really quickly is movies. And so say you want to write YA contemporary like Cynthia. Cynthia could rent 3 movies or watch them on Netflix. I guess we don't rent movies anymore, right? But stream 3 YA contemporary movies and watch them in a row or watch them over the weekend with a pen and paper and take notes. And what you'll notice is the similarities between these 3 films. And by the end of the 3 films, you'll be an expert on the genre, and you'll also have a really unclear understanding of the conventions of that genre. All right. So lots of different ways we can go about this, but whether it's watching movies, obviously reading the books is the best, but you can't do that over a weekend. We're trying to get a lot done quickly. So watch the movies, hit ChatGPT, or pop around on tvtropes.org. Okay, so for you folks who have your worksheet, it should be nicely filled out by now. For other folks, hopefully you were taking some notes, but if not, let's go back over here the 5 things that you can do right now to rock Story Plan Intensive this June. 1, start managing your time now. Start figuring out how you're going to carve that time out over the course of June. Commit to the schedule, that 1 month schedule with 4 weeks of weekly homework assignments. Find accountability, whether that's an accountability partner in your life, whether that's the Facebook group, whether that's just sending your homework to me. Find that accountability and make sure that you have someone waiting for you to deliver that homework. 4, do the homework. That's the most important thing here. That's the work, right? That is what the program is all about. So do the homework, commit to that now. And then finally, pop over to tvtropes.org, poke around a bit, or do a bit of experimentation around genre in ChatGPT. Okay, so now I want you to type yes in the chat if you'd like to hear about the one thing that you can do to absolutely guarantee success this June. Awesome. I'm seeing a lot of yeses there. Cynthia, I too miss Blockbuster. In fact, I worked at Blockbuster for many years, and even as an adult, I went on to grad school, and I graduated and got jobs. And for the longest time, I said, "Well, if this career doesn't work out, at least I always have Blockbuster to fall back on." Boy, was I wrong about that. And Cynthia worked there too. Amazing. Okay, Cynthia, you and I got to connect on some Blockbuster memories here at some point. Okay, but for now, let's talk about the one thing you can do to guarantee success with StoryPlan, and that's join StoryPlan VIP. StoryPlan VIP includes weekly group coaching calls. They take place every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Does that sound familiar to anyone? It's right now. So starting next week, every Wednesday for 5 weeks at this time, we'll get on a Zoom conference call. It'll look something like this. And on these calls, you'll be able to ask questions about the training material that we'll go over in the week, as well as about the homework assignment, so that you can have a deeper understanding and you can apply the concepts effectively, as well as develop a more comprehensive grasp of the subject matter. This is how you go deep into the craft material in StoryPlan. On these coaching calls, you can also get advice, additional resources, and writer's craft tips and tricks to support the planning process so that you can enhance your creative skills, develop a stronger narrative structure, and refine your writing style for more impactful storytelling. So I've been coaching for over a decade. I've got folder after folder after folder of resources, of examples, of tips for things. And so on our coaching calls, inevitably someone asks a question or some topic comes up in discussion, and I go and I pull out that resource and I share it with the VIP members. As a VIP member, you'll also be able to receive assistance in breaking story concepts and ideas. Breaking being that industry term of just brainstorming, of just coming up with the story. As I said in the presentation, you don't have to do this alone. And so, with assistance, you can overcome creative hurdles, explore new perspectives, and cultivate innovative approaches to storytelling so that we can captivate our readers. That's what we want to do at the end of the day. We want our readers on the edge of their seat. You'll also be able to experience real-time coaching to help you push through blocks and barriers so that you can receive immediate guidance, overcome challenges, and gain the confidence needed to excel in your writing projects. The training videos are great. The Facebook group is good. We've got a webinar here. You can ask me some questions in the chat, but nothing beats getting on a call and talking it out, figuring these problems out, and having me share advice with you as well as with other members of the group. It's really interesting as AI has emerged. We talked a little bit about AI already. I think more and more and more personal connection is going to become more and more important, because we can go to ChatGPT, we can get the information, but where do we get the conversation? Where do we get the in-depth engagement on a human, personal, creative level? That's what happens on these coaching calls, and that's not what you're not able to get through a training video or get via ChatGPT or whatnot. we talk about accountability, right? There's no way to be more accountable than putting a little money down and knowing that you are part of an elite group of writers, the VIP groups, who are going to hold each other accountable and who are going to meet on a weekly basis. You're not going it alone. And when you get that accountability, it ensures that you stay motivated, that you stay excited, and that you stay on track with the program so that you can achieve the success that we're all here for, that you want to achieve. And when you do this as part of the VIP group, you're able to learn from other people's plans and questions as well. And so, this is the really fascinating thing about being part of a group where people are encountering different issues than you are, or writing different types of stories, or are finding solutions that you found, but in different ways. By being part of a group coaching program, you get that diverse understanding of drafting strategies and planning processes that you can then adapt or steal or borrow or implement in your own work. What this person is doing just might work for you if it's working for them. All right, so I invite you to join Story Plan VIP. I'm going to put the offer on in the chat. Story Plan Intensive is $297. So you get 5 group coaching calls for under $300, which is a pretty good steal. But right now, you're here, you're on the webinar. I want to give you that early bird discount, which is going to be $200 off. So when you join Story Plan today, you get the 5 VIP coaching calls for $97, $200 off. That goes up this Friday. All right. So you have a couple days, but now is the best time to get signed up and to save your spot on those coaching calls as a Story Plan VIP member. When you join, I'm going to throw some bonuses in here for you as well. I hosted a summit, the Writers Craft Summit in 2019. I had 25, almost 30 of the top people in the publishing industry, in the writing space on that call. I took all of their best ideas, their best tips, and I worked it into a short ebook called The Novel Writer's Roadmap, 12 Steps to Writing a Book. And you get not just my roadmap for writing a book, but advice from over 20 different experts in that book. And I'm going to include that as a bonus when you join today. You also get recordings of all 5 VIP coaching calls. Like I said, I know life gets busy sometimes, so maybe there's one week here that you just can't make it live. No problem. The calls are recorded, they're shared with the group and with the group only the evening of the call, the same night the call happened. So you won't be behind anyone else. You'll be able to get caught up right away. Now, people learn in different ways, and some people learn best through videos. Some people learn best through coaching calls, live discussions. Other people learn best through writing, through reading, and through revisiting material, through reading. And so, what I'm going to do is create transcripts of every single coaching call. So for the 5 coaching calls, you'll also get transcripts and audio for all of the calls. So if you miss, you can go back and revisit it any way you want, via audio, via video, via the transcripts. Or if you just want to revisit aspects of the discussion, maybe you want to take notes, print the transcripts off, take notes when you watch the training video a second time, the coaching call video. It could be a really effective way to just continue to emphasize the learning and to keep you accountable and on track. You're also going to get early access to all of the homework assignments. So for everyone else in the program, they get the homework assignments in the Friday email. So Monday to Friday, you're getting those emails at 7 a.m. You'll get the homework assignments on the Fridays if you're a part of the free program. If you're part of VIP, I share those homework assignments on our Wednesday night call. So you're getting the homework 3 days before everyone else, gives you a little bit more time to work on it, to think about it, and to be a little less time crunched over the weekend. All right. So when you join StoryPlan VIP, you get the daily training videos, you get the weekly creativity inspiring homework assignments, you get access to the Facebook group, you get the Novel Writers Roadmap ebook, you get 5 live coaching calls with me. You get the 5 replays for those calls in case you miss them or you want to revisit anything. You get the 5 transcripts, which actually also accompany audio with them, and you get early access to all of the homework templates. And when you join today, you save $200 off. You get all of that for just $97, which is a pretty incredible deal. Now, I said that joining StoryPlan VIP will guarantee your success. What do I mean by that? Well, the people who join VIP absolutely rock the program. And I've done this enough times. This is the 9th round of StoryPlan. Hundreds of writers have been through it. I have this thing so locked down that I'm willing to totally 100% guarantee your success. So join StoryPlan VIP, do the program, attend the coaching calls, complete the homework assignments. And if you don't have an outline for your book that you're absolutely satisfied with by the end of June, sorry, it says April there. I should have updated my slide. So by the first week of July, I will provide you with 100% of your money back. So this is why I'm saying do this now and you're guaranteed success, or you get your $100 back. All right. But I know we can get you there because I've done this again and again and again. And I've seen these outlines come together and I've seen the success that people have when they join the coaching, when they make the commitment to be part of the program and to really excel at it. All right. So I invite you to join StoryPlan Intensive now. Cynthia says, how many people are in the VIP group? Is there a limit? I normally cap it at 10. After 10, it gets a little difficult for me to get through everyone's homework and to navigate the coaching calls in an effective manner. I really want to get to know you. I want to get to know your story so that I can effectively assist you. And so we do keep the numbers on VIP pretty low here. And so I mentioned the homework. When you join VIP, you do have an optional add-on for me to review all of your homework. So every week of the program, I'll look at all of your homework. I'll also look at your outline and I'll provide you with feedback on what's working and what isn't, and give you advice and direct you to additional resources via that homework review. And the only way to even get a chance to buy the homework review is to be a VIP member. No one else even gets the option to buy that. And so if you want to work really closely with me this month and really have me go over your work with a fine-tooth comb, then on the checkout page for StoryPlan VIP, click that little upgrade button. It's 3/4 way down the page before you complete the purchase. And you'll get on my list of homework review folks who I'll go over your material really closely and help you, because I want you to have an outline by the end of the month that you're just so blown away by, that yeah, it leaves you just so excited to either start your manuscript or return to your manuscript with just an incredible level of confidence and enthusiasm. All right. Let me know in the chat if there are any other questions. I think we got a quiet group. All right, folks. Well, You know where I'm at. You get emails from me. Just hit reply if you have any questions at all. I'm happy to answer. And I really look forward to working with all of you this month. Whether you're in Story Plan regular or whether you upgrade to VIP, this is going to be a super fun, super informative, and unforgettable month for you. I think this is going to mark a changing point in your writing career. You're going to be able to say, like, oh, everything changed after Story Plan. And so I'm so excited to have you part of this program and to see you really excel this June. All right. So, Cynthia, Hugo, Tammy, Marilyn, everyone still on the call. Thank you so much for your attention, for your participation. And take the advice from this webinar to heart. Do these things now so that come Monday morning, you're going to get that first Story Plan email from me, the first training video, and you can just hit the ground running and really knock it out of the park this month and absolutely rock Story Plan. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you next week.